If you are looking to buy a home, you surely don't want to make any mistakes. So here are 5 home buyer mistakes you need to avoid. I'm James Myers, and this YouTube channel is your source for real estate information in the city of Barrie, Ontario. If you are new to the channel, please go ahead, hit the subscribe button down below the video, and tap the bell icon so you are notified of future videos that can help you in your home search. A typical video of home buyer mistakes might give you examples such as, don't buy a house without doing a home inspection. Don't buy a house without getting pre-approved for a mortgage beforehand. Or don't buy a house without the expertise of a realtor helping you along the way. You already know these things from watching other videos, so I'm not going to repeat. These are 5 tips you probably have not heard of. Be sure to watch to the very end so you get my bonus tip on buying in the seller's market. Let's get into it. Number 1, rushing your home purchase. You just got the mortgage commitment letter from your bank and you're all excited about buying your new home. You're scouring the internet, looking at any website that even hints at having houses for sale on it. Refreshing the website every 15 minutes, waiting for new houses to get posted. Feeling like you continually have to watch or you're going to miss out. There are always more houses coming on the market. And if someone buys that house you are interested in, that just means there is one less buyer to compete with you on the next house. I realize that for some people, this goes deeper than just buying a house. It's a psychological thing. The urge to buy something, to go out and spend money on the first thing you see. Your patience will be rewarded in the end. Look at what happened to the people who were in a rush to buy in late 2021, early 2022. A lot of those people are living in houses that are worth less than they paid for them. Mistake number 2, basing what you think you can pay for a mortgage on what you currently pay for rent. I've seen this before where people think, oh, I pay $2,000 a month in rent, so I can afford to pay $2,000 a month in a mortgage payment. It doesn't work that way. Lenders have very strict guidelines on how they qualify you for a mortgage, much stricter than a landlord would be. Banks in Canada use what is called TDS or GDS to qualify people for a mortgage. I won't get into TDS or GDS because there's a lot of videos out there that help explain how banks use those figures to qualify you for a mortgage. Years ago, when I was fairly new in the business, I had these people that were currently renting and they were paying around $1,500 a month in rent or something like that. And they figured if we're paying $1,500 a month in rent, we can afford a mortgage of $1,500. So I took them out a few times and I kept saying, go get pre-approved, go get pre-approved. And they finally did go get pre-approved by a bank. And it turns out they could only afford a mortgage of around $70,000. That was at a time when the average house price was around $200,000, $250,000. So don't think just because you pay X amount of dollars in rent that you can have a mortgage payment for the same amount. Mistake number 3, buying the first house you look at. This sort of ties in with my first tip of rushing your home purchase. Now, over the years, I have sold people the first house they've looked at. Sometimes it worked out, sometimes it didn't. I don't recommend it. If you really can't get that first house out of your mind, go look at some other houses. And then if you still feel the same way about your first love, by all means, go back to it. If you think the information in this video might be helpful to someone else, hit the like button and that will tell YouTube to push this video out to more people just like you. Mistake number 4. Not having extra money on hand for surprise expenses. This goes above and beyond the normal expenses of buying a house like home inspector, appraisal, or lawyer's fees. Little things that you might not have thought of. Money for pizza and beer for your friends who are helping you move. $100 for the new coffee machine because your drunk friend dropped yours carrying it into the house. Remember, don't give your friends any beer until they're done moving your stuff. You decide the window covering in the master bedroom doesn't match your decor, so there's a few $100. A new account fee for hooking up your internet service. And if you are a totally new customer for utilities, sometimes you want a deposit. And the deposit can be a few $100s. The cost to forward your mail to your new address. These may seem like small amounts, and on their own, they are. But put them all together and they start to add up, especially if you're a first-time buyer on a tight budget. Number 5, don't fall for the staging. This is not a knock on staging. I want to be upfront about that. Staging works, but it works for the seller. If you walk into a house and your jaw drops because it's so beautifully set up with all this trendy, modern furniture, get a grip. Don't fall for it. It's a trap. If you were so awestruck by this house, so were the people who came before you, and so will anyone who comes after you. That means the more people who love the house, the more competition. If you buy that showcase of a house because you fell for the staging, all that's going to be left on closing is the paint on the walls. None of the fancy furniture or decorating accessories or area rugs are going to be there. You're going to walk in after you get your keys and see this empty house and be disappointed because all the nice stuff is gone. So my advice is to buy an ugly duckling house and make it your own. Here's an idea. Buy the ugly duckling house that needs to be redecorated and then hire your own stager. You'll probably save yourself money in the end because one way or another, you're paying for that staging. Whether the seller paid for the staging and you just reimburse the seller on closing because you overpaid for that house, or you can hire your own stager and pay them out of your pocket. Staging professionals like to boast that staging will pay for itself. You'll get back double the money you spent on staging or whatever. And they're right, staging works. But think about it. Bonus tip, don't get involved in a bidding war. I know in this current market it can be hard, but if you can avoid it, don't get into a bidding war. Be patient. So to recap, here are my 5 homebuyer mistakes to avoid. Number 1, rushing your home purchase. Number 2, basing what you think you can pay for a mortgage on what you currently pay for rent. Number 3, buying the first house you look at. Number 4, not having extra money on hand. Number 5, don't fall for the staging. And my bonus tip, don't get involved in bidding wars. I want to thank you for taking time out of your busy day to watch this video. Hopefully you got some value from it. And check out this video right here for what I consider to be the best and most up-to-date website to help you in your home search.